Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Welcome to our Life Moves Mountain View Supportive Interim Housing Community. I am Aubrey Merriman. I'm the CEO of Life Moves, and it gives me great pleasure to have you here joining us this morning for this exciting day. As you know, Life Moves Mountain View is the largest provider of interim and supportive services to all of our unhoused neighbors in Silicon Valley, in Santa Clara County, as we hear today, and in San Mateo County as well. What you're standing in today is our proof point. It's our quick strike modular solution for getting as many unhoused neighbors off the streets in the most cost-efficient and time-sensitive way. We use prefabricated modular build to quickly bring safe and dignified spaces for our unhoused neighbors. And it really does take a community to build a community. So today is a reflection of that. Not too long ago, I stood on a stage similar to this, and I thanked Supervisor Simidian. I thanked Governor Newsom, then Governor Newsom, and now Governor Newsom, by the way. I also thanked our incredible partners at the City of Mountain View. And at that time, I also talked about this is wonderful, this is a great moment in time, but we needed to do more. We had the opportunity to scale our impact, and we're living at a time where the sense of urgency could not be any higher. The pandemic, as you know, has exacerbated all of the issues that people face, particularly our marginalized neighbors and our unhoused neighbors throughout the county and throughout Silicon Valley. And at that time, I said we wanted to do 10 more of these modular type communities. And 10 more was just going to be the start. So Life Moves raised our collective hand and waved it and said, we are here, and we know that we have a solution. We want to iterate and replicate this solution to scale. And we want to do that 10 times over. And we put that call to action out there. And we wanted to make sure that we were in alignment with the Santa Clara County's community plan to end homelessness, and all of the players and actors and partners and champions that are doing this work alongside us as well too. And then I heard from Supervisor Simidian. And he told me he was raising his hand, that he wanted to help even more. And he said that Supervisor Lee wanted to help too. And they both knew that we were in this moment. And we want to make this moment an epic movement. And we understood the importance of what today means and what this present time meant. So when Supervisor Simidian told me that he would like to put up $25 million to build 10 more of these prefabricated modular communities in Santa Clara, like any CEO with a lot of years of training, I dipped into my intellectual capacity and said, sure, when do we start? And therein lies sort of the effort and the energy behind what we're seeing here. So I'll let Supervisor Simidian and Supervisor Lee talk about the specifics of the program they put together. But I think it would be remiss of me if I didn't talk a little bit about Life Moves and the work that we do. So what you see here is a community. It's a door, it's a lock, it's privacy, it's a room. It's an opportunity for people to call a space home. It's an opportunity to not have to balance the trade-off between going to sleep or being safe. It's an opportunity for people to breathe and to stabilize their life. It's an opportunity for Life Moves to enact our formula for success. And that formula for success includes our intensive case management, our behavioral health services. It includes our employment services. It includes our customized services that we wrap around each one of our clients as we Google map them back to long-term self-sustainability and permanent housing. So that's what we do here. So it's more than just a lock on the door. It's coupled with our intensive and comprehensive wraparound services that we deliver to each one of our clients. What you're standing in today is a community that has 100 doors, 88 singles, and 12 family units. 124 individuals will call this place home, and they will embrace the services that we would provide for them and with them to throughput them to their next and better stage of life. And 69% of the individuals and 89% of the families who come through the Life Moves programs return to permanent housing. And so we feel that we also have outcomes that are really impressive and that our model works. And so with that, I just want you to know that we are super grateful for this opportunity, super grateful to Supervisor Simidian and Supervisor Lee for having the political will, for having the entrepreneurial spirit to be able to really help kick off this call to action. Super, super grateful to the City of Mountain View for the way in which they stepped up and walked with us shoulder to shoulder as we brought this from inception to reality. So thank you for being here. We appreciate your support. We appreciate this response to the call to action, and we're putting out that call to the action to the rest of the Silicon Valley community. We need champions. We need heroes. This is that time. This is that moment. Let's go big and go home. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm County Supervisor Joe Simidian, and I'm going to wait for the drill to stop. I'm going to go off script just a little bit, share a personal recollection with you if I can, because I think we all know we've been at this too long. And as I made my way here this morning, I was remembering a moment literally 25 years ago when I was on the Palo Alto City Council. And I was walking down the street with my soon-to-be wife, Mary, and we heard the mumbles and grumbles of a disheveled fellow on the streets as we were window shopping, close to Thanksgiving. And she sort of pulled a little closer to me. And I took a look to see what the noise was about. And then I said, "Hey, Larry, how are you?" And the fella pulled himself out of a fog and said, oh, hi. And he went on his way. We went back to our window shopping. And then all of a sudden, you could sort of feel him come closer again. And he said, "Mr. Mayor." And I turned, "Yeah, Larry." I said, "Congratulations on your reelection." I said, "Thanks, Larry." And off he went. And my soon-to-be wife, Mary, turned and smiled and said, "Your town." And I said, "What?" She said, "Well, you know the homeless people by their first name, and they follow your election results." And what I said to her in the moment, and I didn't realize the import of what I was saying, is, well, that's what it means to be part of a community. That's what it means to be part of a community. We know one another. We look out for one another. We care deeply about one another, no matter who we are, what our station in life, what our circumstance of the moment may be. We move quickly to take care of one another. And I want to underscore the word that Aubrey used this morning, which is urgency. I shared that personal recollection with you because, as I say, it is now a quarter of a century old, and here we still are. And notwithstanding all of the good work, and there's been so much done by so many good people, notwithstanding all of the good work, all the resources, all the time, the effort, the energy, and the commitment, we're still running in place, trying hard to keep up. And we can't let that be the case any longer. So the reason I'm here this morning is because I believe that what Life Moves is doing, has already done in concert with partners like the county and, critically in this case, the City of Mountain View, is a game changer. And that's not a phrase I use lightly. If we can do what Life Moves has already done here, and we can, and then do it again and again and again and again, or as Aubrey says, times 10, it will be a game changer. We can get folks who are at risk every minute of every day of their lives out of the place they are to a much better place and on a path to a better place still. That's what Life Moves is about, and that's what our challenge today is about. Aubrey is telling you true when he says that literally 3 weeks ago, I got word of the challenge that Life Moves has issued. And what they said is, if we've done it once, we can do it again and again and again, but we'll need the resources to make that happen. And if it's roughly $25 million per effort, that means $250 million. The math is not hard. Pulling together the resources and the site and the talent is hard, but the math isn't hard. And so Life Moves called on our valley to step up and to make a really dramatic impact, to go big, to acknowledge the fact that we need to do more and we need to do more now. So I thought to myself, what can we do at the county to help serve as a catalyst? And that's really what I see this effort as being. I hope and expect that it will be the catalyst that it incentivizes others to step up as well. $250 million sounds like a big number, but we're learning more every day about the willingness of our federal and state partners and good folks in good cities around the county to step up and do their part. But the question is, who would raise their hands first to say, we're in? And I want Santa Clara County to be the first to raise their hands and say, we're in. Supervisor Lee and I have a proposal that will be on our Tuesday board agenda, calling on our county to commit $25 million as the first responder to the call from Life Moves, and urging others to respond in kind and in greater and greater numbers. If we do that, it really will be a game changer. As Aubrey says, 10 projects times 100 folks, that's 1,000 folks. And of course, if we move folks to a better place within 3 or 4 months, that has the potential to be 20,000 folks over the course of a 5-year period. That's a game changer. We should expect no less. We should demand more of ourselves. Today, this challenge is what I hope will be the first step. And I look forward to being with you for the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th press announcement as Santa Clara County embraces the Life Moves model. Now, I want to thank our partners throughout the county, because there are 15 cities and towns without whom this effort cannot be successful. We have representatives here today, and you'll hear from them from both Sunnyvale and Mountain View. And I saw our council member, Lucas Ramirez, somewhere here in the group. Where are you, Lucas? Right over there, from the city of Mountain View. And I want to encourage all of you with the press, when we get done with the formal remarks, please go over and ask Councilmember Lucas Ramirez how committed he is to making sure that more of this happens in Santa Clara County. And I see City Manager Ed Shikata here from the city of Palo Alto, and I hope you'll ask him the same question about Palo Alto. Because cities like Palo Alto and Mountain View and Sunnyvale and Santa Clara and San Jose are already having these conversations, but they need that little financial assist to lift them up. And that's what we're talking about today, lifting every one of our communities up, lifting every one of our fellow members of the community up, and reinforcing the notion that we really are one community, each and every one of us with our place. Now, it really gives me great pleasure to introduce someone who is a partner in this effort at the Board of Supervisors. And I want to help some of you who may not be familiar with the political math. There are 5 county supervisors. That means you need a majority vote of 3 to do anything. If you have 2 supervisors who are already on the program, it means you only need 1 more vote. So I am hopeful, I am optimistic that on Tuesday, our board will say yes, and this effort will be underway in a real and dramatic way. But that wouldn't have been possible without Supervisor Otto Lee, who is someone I have really enjoyed working with during his first year on the board. He has a marvelous combination of head and heart that he brings to the work that we do at the board. And in this instance, he has some lived experience that I think will help illuminate just what kind of potential the Life Moves model has. Please join me in welcoming Otto Lee to the podium. Supervisor?
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. What a beautiful day here. My name is Otto Lee. I'm serving on the District 3 of the County of Santa Clara, representing North Sunnyvale, Milpitas, and also part of San Jose, including Berryessa, and the Evergreen District as well. I'm truly excited to be here speaking with you today on this such an exciting project. You are standing in the land of something that is very exciting for the Santa Clara County. As my former life being a retired U.S. Navy commander that has deployed and served in Iraq, I am truly honored and excited to co-author this proposition with Supervisor Simidian because of my personal connection to the containers being used for housing. As far as I know, I'm probably the only supervisor in the Bay Area or even California that's actually lived in a container housing unit. When I was deployed to serve in Iraq in 2009, I lived in a container housing unit for a year because that's what's being provided to the soldiers serving in the war zone. Serving with the Army some of the time, I also get to live in tents as well during the deployment. And trust me, these container housing units sure beats living a tent. The word container might be scary to some people if you don't just look at what container looks like, but they actually can be converted into a very nice space for living in many ways. Right behind me, right here, if you look carefully, is actually a converted 40-foot containers with very high ceilings with all these spaces. So if you do it right, it could be extremely amazing conversion. Containers, as we know, are plentiful and extremely transportable. They're extremely sturdy and exceptionally easy to convert, and they are also stackable. It has a door that locks, they have windows, and it provides the privacy and safety that so many of our unhoused has lacked while sleeping in tents, living in the streets, on overpasses, or by the creeks. These units gave all of us serving a temporary space where we could rest safely and feel like we had a home. During my 2 long years of campaigning for supervisor, I've been trying to advocate the container housing unit for years. And I'm really gratified today to see that this has been made into a successful pilot project, that it really works right here in Silicon Valley as well. This Life Moves proof of concept design shows how easy and efficiently these conversions can be done. This project you're standing on was done in only 6 months. Oftentimes, the environmental impact report, EIR, would take double that time to just draft, right? And when we are using tax dollars, we need to be cost effective. And this option is definitely one of the quickest and best that we have right now to tackle this urgent housing problem we are all facing today. What makes these options so special is that they provide separate and private spaces for individuals and also families, and for those who are often uncomfortable in the open, shared spaces of traditional congregate shelters. The modular units could be 20 feet, could be 40 feet, and they're highly versatile, just like what we play when we're kids, like Lego pieces, right? And they can fit in practically in all shapes of land area that is so hard to find in our county. Plus, we're able to include more than just living spaces, such as bathrooms, showers, wash and dryers, kitchens, work and recreational spaces, and best of all, spaces for career counseling, mental and physical health services, and to connect with other social workers. The type of wraparound services that are so needed to get our unhoused neighbors back on track. Also, we also know that the Life Moves project here is also connected with Loaves and Fishes to provide food and meals to the residents, who of course have been doing so much great work for our community for the past 1.5 years during the pandemic. These units are truly transitional and transformational. They give those who are in the most in need all the support they need to get back on their feet. And this is something I really hope we can replicate all across the county and even the greater Bay Area. With San Jose joining Oakland and San Francisco, of the White House call for municipalities to solve the housing crisis, these three cities and many others we just mentioned, we are looking forward to all of them to commit to the Biden administration's effort to create over 100,000 new housing options. And of course, that includes our unhoused. I really look forward with the mayoral leadership across the Bay to address these and hopefully utilize this option as one of many solutions we need to engage to help end our homelessness. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart to my colleague Supervisor Simitian for inviting me to join in this proposal. Of course, special thanks to Aubrey Merriman, the CEO of Life Moves, Kimber McCarthy, City Manager of Mountain View, and of course, also my own Sunnyvale Councilwoman, Alyssa Cisneros, who will be speaking later. Thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kimber McCarthy, the City Manager for the City of Mountain View, and I couldn't be more excited to welcome all of you here and for you to see this absolute labor of love that the city has put into this project, along with our partner Life Moves and many other partners that I'd like to highlight and recognize today. So you've heard that it wasn't that long ago that this site opened, May 6th to be exact. That's when we celebrated the grand opening of this extraordinary project. This interim housing community you see here today took unwavering vision, pioneering partnerships, and boldness and innovation on the part of our Mountain View City Council to bring this to fruition. Also the support of our Mountain View community. And I also want to mention that city staff put this application into the state within 72 hours. We turned this around. They worked night and day on this to get this into the state to even start this project. So in less than 6 months, as you've heard, we have this safe and secure site here in Mountain View, serving individuals, couples, and families. And we provide the care and services to help them stabilize and get on a path to more permanent housing through our partner, Life Moves. We are heartened that around 80% of participant referrals are drawn from local residents in our community. So while Life Moves Mountain View is providing a pathway to housing, the City of Mountain View can't do this alone. That's why I'm here today to encourage other cities to consider taking this approach in your communities. Mountain View took the first and bold step in doing so. However, we had a lot of help along the way. First and foremost, the State of California Department of Housing and Community Development provided the means by clearing the red tape and significant funding through the state's Project Home Key. We appreciate and celebrate Life Moves for their partnership as the operator of this interim housing project. We also had a great partner in Cisneros Regis for their site development and project management. As you've heard, we've had significant financial support from the County of Santa Clara, who's been instrumental in supporting the city in this effort, along with many other efforts that our community has done to help provide care and service for homeless individuals or unstably housed individuals in our community. We've also worked with philanthropies and private sector donors, including Google.org and LinkedIn. So you can see for yourself how this innovative community is already making a difference in our city for individuals who are homeless or unstably housed. In closing, we stand ready to support our fellow cities in this county-wide effort as we seek to provide solutions for homelessness throughout the region. So, as has been said, this is certainly a game changer, and I'd now like to introduce Sunnyvale Councilmember Alyssa Cisneros to share a few remarks.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Alyssa Cisneros, and as mentioned, I'm a council member in Sunnyvale for District 2, which is the downtown area. I was elected in November of 2020. And finding a solution to the housing crisis is one of the main reasons I became an elected official. I come from a family where a medical assistant and a janitor could raise 3 kids and rent a duplex in a decent neighborhood. Now, this is so far from our reality that it actually boggles the mind. The economics here are clear. More housing of every kind is needed in Santa Clara County, and we know that the more housing you build, the more rents stabilize or even drop in surrounding areas. In the meantime, 1 in 5 Californians are uncertain of how they're going to pay rent next month. These individuals need a safety net for if the worst happens. And this is one of those safety nets that we can provide to address our continued struggle with homelessness. Our housing crisis is forcing people out of their homes and onto the streets every single day. And it takes energy, courage, and commitment to take on the monolithic challenges of our housing programs. And I'm grateful for the elected leadership here today in their initiative, their political will, and their partnership in combating these problems. I'm also grateful to those around the region who aren't here today, who are also champions and are working hard in their communities to bring programs like this near them. But something we have to remember in all of this doom and gloom is that a better world is possible. A more just and equitable society is possible. And the actions that we take here today with Life Moves and other community partners is going to affect the course of people's very lives. And I'm amazed in this light of the brilliance of this modular home solution as a tool to combat homelessness. This interim housing will provide the opportunity for individuals to receive case services, to have security in their lives, and be able to reach their full potential. If you can imagine being somebody trying to figure out appointments and applications to housing and figuring out how they're going to get food stamps and other things. Now imagine doing that, but you don't have a place to put your things every day. You need to put it in storage, you need to carry it with you, it could get lost, it could get destroyed, but you're trying your best. Now this solution provides a place for people to keep those documents and work hard in conjunction with the people who are here to support them. We know that this leads to more people getting housed more quickly, which is our ultimate goal. The fine people such as Life Moves, the county, and others have a mission. They found the land that we're standing on here today. And now we have a data-driven, cost-effective, and high-impact interim housing solution for those who need it the most, for families, for couples, and individuals. And I'm particularly excited about that kind of multi-partner approaches to tackling homelessness because none of us can do this alone, and we shouldn't have to. Multifaceted problems require multi-partner solutions every single time. And seeing everyone from government officials and nonprofits to philanthropy in the public sector come together as a united front truly gives me hope. Now in Sunnyvale, where I am, I want to tell a little story about something that we did just last year. We had park renovations going on at Fair Oaks Park, and there was a significant homeless encampment there that had relied on this stability and central location for a long time. Now they were disrupted and displaced by necessary city development. And what we were able to do was partner with other organizations to put these individuals into motel rooms for a limited period of time, but the county was able to step in and expand this program. Now, these individuals received the benefit of having stability, a safe place to be, and staying within the community. We didn't want to move them somewhere far away where people couldn't see them. We wanted them to be near where they already have resources, where they continue with their case management. We have to really think bigger than that one program. We were able to do that. It was really expensive. It took a while to get off the ground, but we truly do need to think bigger. Programs like these are one of the major solutions to tackling the problems that are completely endemic within our communities, intractable problems but solvable problems. Something we have to remember when we're approaching homelessness or the housing crisis or issues of public health, public safety, is that we have a moral obligation to partner together and do everything we can with every resource we can to combat the indignities and the tremendous burden of poverty in our communities. And with that, I would like to turn it over to our esteemed Santa Clara County Supervisor, Joe Cimidian. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 5 very different perspectives, but I think taken as a whole, they really tell the story. I want to ask Aubrey back because I know he has a special invitation for you all. And then I want to piggyback on his comment, and then we want to open it up for questions. Aubrey?
Thank you again. 2 quick points. First one is I want to make sure that we reiterate the innovative and entrepreneurial partnership that made this possible. So folks like Google.org, LinkedIn, the County of Santa Clara, Office of Supportive Housing, our coordinated care system, and our cities, Mountain View, and our other municipalities, and just a philanthropic community. The staff of Life Moves have done incredible work. I have the good fortune of coming up here and talking about it. I truly am in a lot of ways the window dressing for all the great work that the staff and the board does. And so I want to thank the Life Move staff, and I also want to thank Patrick Heron, our vice chair of our board of directors, who's here representing our board of directors as well. So, thank you. And we talked about redefining possibilities, radically reforming what the definition of housing is, and expanding what that portfolio of what housing looks like, and adding as many innovative and creative rungs on a housing ladder as possible. And so we'd like to invite you after the question and answer period, if you'd like to peek in to see some of the inside of our units. We've arranged for that for you. So we want to do that in a coordinated fashion and in a dignified way, respecting our clients. So if you are interested in that, please indicate that after the question and answer period, and we'd be happy to do that for you. So again, thank you, and I'll turn it back over to the esteemed Supervisor Cimidian.
Thank you, Aubrey. I do hope folks will take advantage of the opportunity to take a look. It's really a very compelling proof positive of the soundness of the model. We want to get to questions and answers, so let's get to it. But I do want to share with you as well, and Aubrey, please confirm for me. One of the things I did as part of the due diligence before we put our proposal in was take a look at what Life Moves calls the Life Moves Playbook. I believe it is still available online, so if you just go to the Life Moves site, you can find a playbook there. It really lays out in great detail, but very plain language, just what the building blocks of the Life Moves model are in terms of efficiency, rapid deployment, cost effectiveness, and the integration of social services. So at that point, why don't we take questions? And I'm going to ask that not only do we let you have questions for Supervisor Lee and myself and Aubrey and Councilmember Cisneros, and Kimber is still with us, thank you. But if you want to pull Councilmember Lucas Ramirez in from Mountain View, I know he'll be okay with that. Thank you, Councilmember, and City Manager Ed Shikata. You can see how I'm trying to reel these folks into the Life Moves effort. And so City Manager, please step forward. Are there questions this morning?
Yeah, what's the timeline once this passes? Have sites been identified, and how long until we would see the first site ready to accept people? So
I'm going to tag team this with Life Moves for their piece. Supervisor Lee and I have a proposal, have a proposal that is on our agenda for Tuesday, next week. We have asked, in that proposal, we asked staff and our legal counsel to sit down at the table, negotiate an agreement, come back on November the 16th, so that our board can put pen to paper and say, it's a thing, it's happening, we're doing this. If we stick to that timeline, and I expect that we will, then we turn to our folks at Life Moves, who will already have been working in anticipation of that agreement. And Aubrey, why don't I let you tell folks then what your timeline looks like without divulging any proprietary information about the cities that you're talking to.
You're absolutely right. So concurrent to what Supervisor Simidian is talking about, we already are engaged in explorations right now. We know that Project Home Key, the second round, is a window of opportunity for us to really disrupt the traditional systems for how we move these things forward. So we're going to be managing those two timelines, and we're going to keep them as close as possible. But prior to this development, we have been in negotiations with municipalities across Santa Clara County, as well as San Mateo County, to continue to build up these opportunities and scale them a little bit more.
Other questions? Yes.
Is there an ideal number of participants you can serve in the number of years? Have you done any forecasting of hard numbers? So many people in so many years, and how many? And could you repeat how many families, individuals, and couples are here?
I will pull Aubrey back into the conversation,
Yeah.
but what I can tell you is we're looking at 10 projects, which we hope and expect could accommodate as many as 20,000 folks over a 5-year period if we can scale up as quickly as we hope we can. Aubrey, why don't you take it from there?
That's exactly right. And then the other piece of that is, in this particular community, we have 100 beds. We have 88 singles and couples units, and then we have 12 family units. So upwards of 124 individuals that we can serve in this facility. And then as they transition out, because it is an interim program, as we have throughput, we have other clients that come in. And we know that in the city of Mountain View, we have the opportunity to impact the homelessness population by 50%. So that's the level of impact that we anticipate having here in Mountain View. And then if you extrapolate that impact across 10 different sites, just imagine what that can look like and what kind of world we'll be living in at that point.
You mentioned working in conjunction with Project Home Key. Does that mean that you're also considering buying old buildings? Not all of the 10 sites will be similar to this?
All of the 10 sites are going to be within this model. What we're looking for, we're always looking for land. We're looking for financial investments, and we're looking at sort of creative site control capacity opportunities. And so absolutely, in this particular situation, we purchased the land, we were the landowners and we're the operators. In other situations, we may just be the operators operating on leased land. And so we're open to all scenarios. The key thing is to be able to scale this with sustainability, with as much efficiency as possible.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
First of all, I think this is amazing, and I represent the city of Santa Clara, and I hope we can do it there. My question is, for the people that maybe have severe illness, mental illness, and things like that, after the 3-month period, if they're really still not able to be on their own, do we have a pathway for those people?
I'm going to let both Aubrey and Supervisor Otto Lee step up to speak to this question. So Aubrey and Supervisor Lee.
Sure. And we're excited about possibilities in Santa Clara, just so that you know. But our model is typically 90 to 120 days. But let me just be absolutely clear. When we have clients that are leaning into our programs, that we're working in partnership with them, there is no hard stop that says if you're not, permanent housing ready, the floor drops and day 90 or day not 91. So we have clients that come in and maybe their first go through, they're not as successful. It takes multiple exposures, but we will work with clients as long as they're leaning into our programs to give them the types of supports that they need.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yes, no, thank you very much for the question. There's really no hard stop. And we talked about this project in Sunnyvale, for example, the motel project, where some of those who've been living there since March 1st, there's still approximately, I think, 13 to 14 individuals living there. And this is also why on Tuesday, there's a separate referral that I'm asking to brought forward, extending the time of the hotels, because we are not in the business of kicking people out when they are getting stabilized. Some individuals take less time and some takes more. And that's why the wraparound service is so important. And the key is getting them into the program, getting them housed and getting them services needed, because sometimes it takes longer. But that's the whole goal of this is when we say temporary, 3 months would be great, but sometimes it might be 6 to 12 months.
Thank you.
Any other questions before we let Aubrey show you around a little bit more?
How much does this cost to run such a site like this?
Aubrey, you want to talk about the cost?
I'm going to have Joanne Price come up. So Joanne, do you mind? She was not expecting this, but Joanne is our VP of VP of Operations Real Estate. She'll be able to give you a sort of the cost piece of it.
I hope our CFO isn't watching. Okay, I missed the question, so can you?
Sure. How much does it cost to run such a site like this?
Okay. The cost to build this site, because we base it on the numbers of doors, which are 100 doors, it was 170,000, and that includes the land, the units, the site improvements, the $3 million of utilities that we're all standing on, and everything that you see around us, from the chairs and the tables and even the pictures on the wall. The cost per night depends on the level of services provided. So when you see on the screen over here, it's a high caliber of comprehensive, what we call wraparound services. That's the services needed to stabilize all our clients on this site. And everybody has a tailored plan that's customized to their needs. It could be mental health, it could be behavioral health, it could be financial resource health, could be connection to benefits, SII benefits, medical benefits. You're going to get the help you need, and that comes at a cost. And that cost ranges between $75, $80 to $95 per person per night. But let me put that in context with you and the cost of doing nothing. Per a report that came out by Destination Homes, so legitimate report in about 2015, so it's quite a few years old now. The cost to leave someone chronically homeless, which is the majority of our clients on site today, is as high as $83,000 per year. And I'll do the math for you, that's $227 per person per bed per night. So our cost of running this facility, and we all feel safe standing here today, it's very calm, yes. That cost is about $80 per bed per night. So the cost of doing something is costing us something. With all taxpayers, we're paying. So these solutions are more cost effective, and we're really helping people get to where they need to be.
Thank you. Or to put it another way, this is not only the humane approach, it's the smart approach when it comes to tackling these issues. I should also just reference, before we let you go on your tour, that when Aubrey talks about trying to do 10 projects at roughly $25 million a piece, and it'll be more or less depending on the size of the project and location, but that builds in 5 years worth of operational costs, so that we know that the program is secure going forward from the minute the first resident walks into their new home. A really smart way to get to the kind of security that we're talking about providing here today. I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank my colleague, Supervisor Lee, for co-authoring the proposal with me that we hope and expect our colleagues will sign off on Tuesday. Councilmember Cisneros, thank you for the good work you've been doing in Sunnyvale. Thank you to the city of Mountain View, Kimber, and Councilmember Lucas Ramirez, thank you for your good efforts. Aubrey and Life Moves, you issued the challenge, and you have your first response, I hope, from the county. And I look forward, as I say, to being at the announcements for the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th project that is made possible by virtue of your vision and your commitment to make this real. Thank you so much. One more round of applause just to say thank you to Life Moves. And Aubrey, if folks want to take a peek inside, where do they go?
Yeah, if you are interested in taking a peek, just indicate that, and then we will arrange for that. Darrell, do you want them to? So why don't you raise your hand, Darrell, so we identify?